Quill's escape. As the echoes of their victory faded in the control room of Quantum Shadow's central base, Marcus and Ava had little time to celebrate. They watched in stunned disbelief as Quill, defeated and cornered, did the unexpected. He began to laugh, a sound that was cold and mechanical, reverberating off the sterile metal walls. "You think you've won, don't you?" he snarled, the fire in his eyes not entirely extinguished. His fingers danced over the surface of a hidden panel on his wrist, his movements swift and precise. In the next moment, reality seemed to warp around him. Before Marcus or Ava could react, Quill had vanished, leaving nothing but an echo of his cruel laughter hanging in the air. The control room was eerily quiet. The calm, steady glow of the control panel screens a stark contrast to the chaos they had just experienced. The realization dawned on them: Quill had escaped. Their victory was not as complete as they had hoped. Back at their lab in the University of Cambridge, Marcus and Ava sat in a tense silence. Their thoughts were consumed by Quill's escape. The questions of where he might have gone and what he might be planning clouded their minds. The victory they had achieved felt tainted, incomplete. There was work to be done. Despite the setback, they refused to be defeated. They had come too far, learned too much to let Quill's disappearance discourage them. Instead, they used their frustration to fuel their determination. They pored over their data, meticulously analyzing every minute detail of their previous translocations, hoping to find some clue as to where Quill could have escaped to. They knew they had a long night ahead of them. Hours turned into days as they worked tirelessly, trying to trace Quill's path through the multiverse. The enormous complexity of the multiverse made the task daunting, akin to searching for a needle in an infinite stack of hay. However, they were not disheartened. They had faced impossible odds before and come out victorious. They would do it again. Meanwhile, across the lab, their quantum translocator hummed softly. It was ready to dive into the multiverse once more, to chase the unseen, to unearth the unknown. And Marcus and Ava were ready too. Quill might have made his escape, but they would find him, no matter where he had hidden himself. As they continued their pursuit, they could not know what the future held for them. A new adventure was on the horizon. A new companion was about to enter their lives, and their journey into the multiverse was about to become even more thrilling. The chase was on. Quill's exile and return. Quill had always been a man of contingency. He prided himself on being prepared for every possible scenario, no matter the circumstance. He had a backup plan, a safety net to catch him. His escape from Quantum Shadow's central base was just that, an emergency protocol coded into his personal translocator, allowing him to teleport to a predetermined location in an alternate universe when necessary. As Quill's laughter faded into the sterile confines of Quantum Shadow's control room, he found himself transported to a discreet hideaway nestled in an alternate Earth. This particular universe was technologically lagging a few decades behind his own, hidden in the remoteness of the Pacific Northwest. Surrounded by endless acres of unspoiled forests, lay Quill's sanctuary. It was a fortress of solitude, equipped with cutting-edge technology from his home universe. Quantum servers hummed softly in temperature-controlled rooms. Multi-universal communication devices blinked with readiness, and a more potent, upgraded quantum translocator sat in the heart of it all. The safety net was more than just a simple escape hatch. It was a fully operational base, prepared for his eventual return. Quill was not entirely surprised by his defeat. His arrogance hadn't blinded him to the capabilities of Marcus and Ava, two of the most brilliant minds he'd encountered. But defeat, he had learned, was just another form of opportunity. He watched from his remote hideaway as the duo made their desperate attempts to trace him. Their determination was almost admirable, but he was beyond their reach. For now, biding his time, he began to formulate his new plan, a strategy not just for revenge, but for reclamation. He knew the duo would be anticipating a direct assault, so he decided to adopt a different approach, a psychological warfare of sorts. Quill had always believed in exploiting his enemies' fears and insecurities. This time, he would use their greatest strength, their unity, against them, a divide-and-conquer strategy, one that would shake the very foundations of their alliance. As the days turned into weeks, Quill delved into his preparations, immersing himself in schematics and algorithms, blueprints and quantum equations. The soft hum of servers and the quiet chirping of satellite feeds became his constant companions. His plan started taking shape, a sinister web spreading across the multiverse. Quill knew that revenge was a dish best served cold, so he was willing to wait, to let Marcus and Ava savor their short-lived victory, before he swooped in to shatter their illusion of safety. His return was imminent, and it would be unlike anything they could anticipate. Meanwhile, Marcus and Ava continued their search for Quill, oblivious to his distant plotting. Their path was about to cross with a new companion. Their journey into the multiverse was about to take an unexpected turn. A storm was brewing, one that they couldn't foresee. Across the vast multiverse, under the dense canopy of a Pacific Northwest forest, Quill's grim laughter echoed once more. It was a sound filled with impending menace, a promise of the storm to come. His exile was over. It was time for his grand return. Mila's entrance. The universe they arrived in was starkly different from their own. High-rise buildings towered over sprawling streets where hover cars whizzed past, while shimmering digital screens flashed advertisements and news from all over this alternate Earth. It was like stepping into a sci-fi novel, where advanced technology was as common as the air people breathed. Marcus and Ava emerged from the translocation right in the midst of chaos. A swarm of police drones was in hot pursuit of a lone figure darting through the city's neon-lit alleys. As they watched, the figure, a woman, looked over her shoulder and made a quick, decisive move. Her fingers flew over a holographic keyboard that appeared in front of her, and with a triumphant smirk, she hit the enter key. Instantly, the police drones froze midair, their engines stuttering and lights flickering before they fell to the ground like stones. However, her moment of victory was short-lived. More drones descended upon her location, their searchlights sweeping the alleyways. Cornered and outnumbered, the woman looked around frantically, her panic palpable even from a distance. That's when her eyes landed on Marcus and Ava, newcomers who were as out of place in this universe as a sundial in a quantum physics lab. Marcus realized they were her only chance at escape. "Over here," he yelled, raising the quantum translocator high for her to see. The woman didn't hesitate, sprinting towards them with renewed energy. "Translocate, now," Marcus ordered Ava as the woman neared them. Just as the drones closed in, they vanished, the woman's desperate dive carrying her with them into the translocation vortex. Moments later, they were back in Marcus's lab at the University of Cambridge, an extra passenger in tow. The woman picked herself up from the floor and looked around, her eyes wide with amazement and a hint of relief. "Nice place you got here," she said, her voice laced with heavy sarcasm. "Mila Bennett," she introduced herself, brushing dust off her clothes. "World-class hacker, occasional drone dodger, and evidently, a multiverse traveler now." Intrigued by her audacious nature, Marcus and Ava listened as Mila regaled her story. She had been born into a universe where technology governed every aspect of life. From the moment she could read, she had been fascinated with coding, cryptography, and hacking. Her skills made her both an asset and a liability in her world, leading to her constant run-ins with law enforcement. "I hack not because I want to break the law," Mila declared with a defiant gleam in her eyes. "I hack because I want to keep the system in check. Someone has to do it." She had been on the run ever since she exposed a massive government surveillance program, and had almost lost hope when Marcus and Ava appeared out of nowhere, offering an escape route she had never dreamt of. Despite her peculiar introduction, there was no denying Mila's potential. Her exceptional skills would be an asset, and her intimate understanding of advanced technology would be invaluable in their quest. As Mila settled into her new reality, Quill's hideaway was a hive of activity, his plan nearing completion. Unbeknownst to Marcus and Ava, the billionaire tech mogul was about to unleash chaos upon them, and as they welcomed Mila into their crew, little did they know that they were stepping closer to the storm Quill had been brewing. In the dance of universes, where destinies intertwined, alliances were being formed, and the stage was being set for an epic showdown. The line between friend and foe was blurring, and the stakes were higher than ever. The multiverse was bracing itself for a shift, as a new chapter in its existence was about to unfold.